So I want to start with something provocative, although it wasn't meant to be. When I posted about my workshop earlier today about pregnancy and cesarean birth tips, I had said in a TikTok post, hey, attention all pregnant people, TikTok live coming up, etc., etc. And in the comments, a couple of people took the time to say, let me correct you there. It's pregnant women. And someone else wrote something very similar. So, this was my attempt at being inclusive. I think it's very important to use inclusive language. I personally relate to the word pregnant woman, but I just want to know what word you prefer. While in general the answer is yes, you can massage your scar while you're pregnant, my bigger question as a therapist would be, why do you feel you need to massage your scar while you're pregnant? Is your scar hurting you, or is something else about your abdominals hurting you? And is it because your pregnancy is progressing, in which case, and in any case actually, I would get a one-on-one assessment with a perinatal therapist. The reason why is, if you have pain while you're pregnant, you really want to make sure that you're treating the right thing. Don't try to just do some massage and hope that that's going to solve the problem. You really want to find the cause of your pain first. Okay? So see your perinatal therapist. For sure, there are exercises you can do in your bed, in that hospital bed, right after you have your C-birth. But honestly, instead of going into those details, the easiest and the most effective thing is literally get out of that bed and walk. Like, walk to the end of your bed and back. Then walk to the bathroom and back the next day. I don't want you to think that just because you just had a surgery that you shouldn't move. As a matter of fact, moving gently and within your pain tolerance is not only helpful, it is absolutely recommended. So get people to help you. Don't be afraid. Take it easy, but walk. Actually, you want to get your ab wrap like now, when you're still pregnant. Same thing with your compression garment. If you're looking for one, you can measure yourself on those websites for whatever brand you're looking for while you're still pregnant, because the best case scenario is you have this ready for yourself on day one, right after surgery. I always say, get that compression on as soon as you feel comfortable enough. Just the slightest bit of compression makes a massive difference. It doesn't have to be painful. It shouldn't be a struggle to get that compression on. And compression helps big time with swelling and pain when used correctly. Honestly, that C-section shelf in the early days, like in the first 6 weeks, is primarily caused by swelling and a tight scar. First of all, that scar has to heal tight, so please don't disturb it in the first 6 weeks. But that's swelling. You can control for that. Get that compression on. I know a lot of people hear conflicting information, but I think a lot of times well-intentioned healthcare practitioners like, you don't need compression because people put it on too tight, and that actually can cause more harm than good. So I get that, but when used correctly, the right amount of compression will help with that C-section shelf, right? Compress means no swelling. And by the way, I have a full mini workshop, like a 30-minute workshop about the different types of compression, etc., as part of my cesarean birth prep program. So let me talk about that in a little bit. So my best advice to heal a brand new scar is in this free resource here below. It talks about my top 5 most common tips. Not only that, it's the easiest to implement tips. I think people generally should be told, but aren't. So I think 5 is plenty, and 5, if you do just these 5, I mean, you will be set up for fantastic recovery. So download this free resource down below. This is for you if you are pregnant. It doesn't matter if you are or are not expecting a cesarean. You just want to be prepared, okay? Download this resource now and make sure you read it. Share it with all of your support people too. Now, in my opinion, the best way to prepare for your cesarean is to do a prenatal program. You just need to know all the details. You need to know all about your compression, where to get them, how to measure for one, which ones are better than the others, how to measure it for your body. You got to know how to set up your house, for example. Remember, after major abdominal surgery, you can't use your abs for the first 2 weeks easily. So how are you getting in and out of bed? How are you getting up the stairs if your bed's on the 2nd floor? How are you setting up your house, right? What are you wearing? Does it matter? And the answer is, yeah, it does matter. What you wear affects how you recover. So please, check with your hospital. See if they offer a prenatal program specifically about cesarean. But if they don't, consider my workshop. It's only a 90-minute workshop, and it's $49. Do it. Ooh, so many people tell me this. I can't wait to start working with you or doing one of your programs or starting rehab when my doctor discharges me. And here's the truth. You don't have to wait. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't. And here's why. I mean, think about this. If you ever sprained your ankle or had any major orthopedic injury, you wouldn't wait 6 weeks until you started doing your rehab. You wouldn't. Until you started, let's say, trying to move your ankle around, or until you started icing it or wrapping it or bracing it. You wouldn't wait until 6 weeks to do something about it. So the reality is, it's the same thing with a cesarean birth. There are a handful of things that if you did now can make a huge difference in your pain, in your weakness, and let's face it, in the way the scar looks too. I mean, wouldn't you do something about how your scar looks if you could do it now and it was safe, right? So please, don't wait. Start now.